That means the tokens are circulated among the ring of station. The data flow is unidirectional. That means the data flows in only one direction. So the middle byte of the frame, that is token frame, is an access control byte. The advantage of token ring is that there is no collision in the network. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram First Grade College, Mysore. We are on the fourth session of HDLC and switching technology. Moving forward, in today's session, I am going to deal with LAN topology. Under LAN topology, I am going to discuss token ring. Before going to start today's session, I want to recall the things what I discussed in the last session. In the last session, I discussed token bus. Then what is the standard for token bus? It is IEEE 802.4. That is the standard for token bus. And at the same time, we discussed the frame format of token bus. But in today's session, I'm going to deal with token ring. And what is the standard format here? It is IEEE 802.5. Moving further, we are going to study token ring. So what is token ring? Here we are going to use physical link. That means to establish the connection between the devices, here we are going to use physical connection, and the connections are formed in the form of ring. So a token ring is a communication protocol in local area network. I repeat here, token ring is a communication protocol in local area network where all the stations are connected in a ring topology. That means here in token ring, the physical representation of token rings are in the form of ring topology, and it is responsible for forwarding the tokens. That means the tokens are passed one or more tokens from channel acquisition. I repeat here. So where all the stations are connected in a ring topology and pass one or more tokens for channel acquisition. That means to acquire the channel in token ring, it is responsible for forwarding one or more tokens. Then a token is nothing but a special frame. I repeat, a token is nothing but a special frame. What is the size of the frame here? It is the size of the frame here is 3 bytes. That is circulated among the ring of stations. That means the tokens are circulated among the ring of station. Here a station can send the data frames only if it holds a token. I repeat, a station can able to send the data only when it holds the token. That means in token ring, it is possible to forward the token only when it has token. That means a station can capable to send the data only when it having tokens. Then the tokens are released on successful recipient of the data frame. That means in token ring, the tokens are delivered on successful recipient. That means the tokens are delivered to the intended recipient of the data frame. Then if the station has a frame to transmit, I repeat, suppose if the station has a frame to transmit when it receives a token. That means the station is capable to transmit their frame only when that receives the tokens from some other station. Then it sends the frame and then it passes the tokens. I repeat, the station is capable to send the data only when it receives the token from some other station. Then first it is going to send the data frame, then it is going to forward the tokens. Otherwise, it simply passes the token to the next station. That means think that the station does not have any data frames to send. In that situation, the station is responsible for forwarding the tokens which is received by the some other station. So here passing the token means receiving the token from the presiding station and transferring to the successor station. So in token passing mechanism, the passing the token means it is the way to receive the tokens from the presiding station and transmitting the tokens to the successor station. So the data flow is unidirectional. That means the data flows in only one direction and it is in the form of clockwise. So data are transferred in clockwise direction. So the data flow is in unidirectional in the direction of token passing. But whereas in the token bus, the data can be, that means the token can be transferred in both clock and anti-clock direction. So in order to that tokens are not circulated infinitely, they are removed from the network once their purpose is completed. That means in token passing ring, the tokens are removed. That means it is not simply circulated. So the tokens are not simply circulated infinitely. They are removed from the network once their purpose is completed. So in token ring, we are going to use physical link between the devices. Whereas in token bus, there is two type of connection. One is virtual connection and another one is physical connection. So in token bus topology, the physical connections are established between the devices by using coaxial cable, whereas the tokens are sent by using logic connections, that is virtual link. Moving forward, we are going to get the token passing mechanism. So this is the token passing mechanism. Think that this green color indicates token. So token is nothing but a small frame. I repeat, token is nothing but a small frame and the length of the frame here is 3 bytes. So this is the token and these blue color indicates these are the stations present in the LAN and these all the stations are connected in the form of ring topology. So the direction of, I repeat, the direction of token flow or token passing is unidirectional. That means only one-way communication, one direction. The data is going to flow. So it is clockwise direction. So think that this station want to send some token to the next station. What it will do? It is going to send the token to the next station, and this next station is going to forward the token to the next station based on the preceding station and based on the successor station. So now who is the preceding station? This is the preceding station and this is the successor station. Then how the token passing mechanism in token ring going to work? So suppose if the station want to send data or frame to the next station, it want to wait until and unless it receives the token from some other station. Only when it have token in their station, then the station can able to transfer the data first. After that, it is going to send the token. So this is the working mechanism of token ring. Moving forward, we are going to get the frame format of token ring. So there are three types of frame format. I repeat, there are three types of frame format that are supported on token ring networks, such as token, abort and frame. So what are the three different types of frame format here used is token, then abort, then frame. So here token frame is the mechanism by which access to the ring is passed from one computer to another computer which is connected in the network. So here token format consists of 3 bytes. I repeat, here token format consists of 3 bytes, of which starting and ending delimiters are used. Here the size of the token frame is 3 byte, in which starting and ending delimiters are used to indicate that the beginning and end of a token frame. That means the size of the token format here, it is 3 byte. In 3 byte, we are going to use 2 delimiters, that is start and end delimiter, used to indicate starting of the frame and ending of the token frame. And the middle byte of the frame is access control byte. So the 3 byte of frames are divided into 3 different types. In that first one, it is starting delimiter, this one ending delimiter, and the middle one, it is access control. So the middle byte of the frame, that is token frame, is an access control byte. The 3 bytes are used as a priority indicator. In that, the 3 bytes are used as a priority indicator and the 3 bytes are used for reservation. I repeat, the 3 bits are used as priority indicator and 3 bits are used as a reservation indicator, while 1 bit is used for token bit. So we know that what is the size of the byte? It is 8 bit. In 8-bit, the first 3 bits are reserved for priority indicator and remaining 3 bits are reserved for reservation indicator, and the next bit is used for the token bit and another bit position function as the monitor bit. So think that what is the size here? It is 8-bit. 1 byte equal to 8-bit. So in that, first 3 bits are used as priority indicator. The remaining 3 bits are used for reservation indicator. The next bit is for token bit and the last bit is for your monitor bit. Moving further, we are going to get the token ring format, token ring frame format. So, what is the length of the token ring frame format? Here, the length is 3 bytes. So, the length is 3 bytes. First one is our start delimiter. Then middle one is our access control and the last one is our end delimiter. Further, this is the token frame format. Then what is the data frame format here? The data frame format here is first one, once again, start delimiter, access control, flow control, destination address, source address, data field, checksum, end delimiter and FS, that is frame status. So what is the size of the start delimiter? It is 1 byte. Then what about access control? It is also 1 byte. Then what is frame control? The size of the frame control is 1 byte. Then the size of the destination address here is 226 byte, whereas the size of the source address here is 226 byte, and the size of the data field is variable in length, so there is no limit for data field. The checksum, the size of the checksum field here, it is 4 byte. The end delimiter holds 1 byte and the frame status holds 1 byte. So this is the frame format of token ring. Dear students, let's see the fields of data frame control one by one. So the frame format of token ring here is, first field here it is frame control. So it is written as FC. So the FC field is 1 byte in long and contains 2 fields. I repeat, what is the length of the FC field? It is 1 byte long and it is further divided into 2 fields. That is, the first field is 1 bit field used for protocol data unit. I repeat, the first field is used for protocol data unit. So it is nothing but a information unit which contains information. So it is nothing but a information unit which contains information. Then what about start delimiter? So the size of the start delimiter here is 1 byte long and is used to alert the receiving station. I repeat, the size of the SD is 1 byte and it is mainly used to alert the receiving station to the arrival of frames. At the same time, the data synchronization or frame synchronization. Then how the frame synchronization is achieved? By using clock pulse. The next one here it is access control, that is called AC. So the AC field is 1 byte in long. That means the size of the AC field here is 1 byte, and that includes 4 subfields. That means 1 byte is further divided into 4 bits. The first 3 bits are priority field, and the fourth bit is called token bit. So the first 3 bits are called priority field, and the fourth bit is called token bit. That means whatever the length is there, it is further divided into 4 subfields. In that, first 3 bits are used as priority field, and the next 4 bits are used as token bit. Moving further, we are going to get destination address. So what is the length of the destination address? It is 2 to 6 byte, and it contains the physical address of the frame's next destination. That means the destination address holds the physical address of the frame's next destination, whereas source address, the size of the source address here it is 2 to 6 byte, and that contains the physical address of the sending station. So I repeat, the source address is also called SA. The size of the source address here is 2 to 6 byte, and it holds the physical address of sending station. Then what about data? So the sixth field here is data, and is allotted 4500 bytes and contains the PDU. The sixth field here is data field, and what is the size? The size of the data field here is 4500, and that contains protocol data unit. That is nothing but a information field. Moving further, we are going to get checksum. So the checksum field is 4 byte, that is the length of the checksum field here it is 4 byte, that contains cross-check the data at the sending station. That means the checksum field is mainly used to cross-check the data at the sending station. This field contains the total number of bytes in the frame. So the checksum field contains the information about the total number of bytes in the frame. The number is checked at the receiver end, and after counting the bytes in the received frame. So the number which is present in the checksum field is checked at the receiver end. That means at the receiving machine after counting the number of bytes in the received frame. If both the checksum value is same, that indicates that whatever the token it is received, it is identical to the sent token. Otherwise, discard the token. Moving further, we are going to get end delimiter. So the size of the end delimiter here it is 1 byte long. So the end delimiter is a second flag field of 1 byte and indicates the end of the sender's data and control information. So here end field is mainly used to specify the end of the sender data and control information. The last field in the frame is frame status. So the length of this field is 1 byte. So the last byte of the frame is the FS field. So it contains the complete status about the frame. Moving on to the advantages of token ring, that is IEEE 802.5. Here token ring technology uses ring topology for data transfer and provides more advanced congestion management. So what is congestion here? That is nothing but traffic control. So congestion is nothing but traffic control. So here it uses ring topology. The ring topology provides advanced congestion management that are available in the Ethernet. The next advantage here is there is no collision in the network. That means the advantage of token ring is that there is no collision in the network and therefore utilization can be reach 100%. That means it is possible to utilize the 100% bandwidth because there is no collision in the network. These are the two advantages of token ring. Moving further, let's see the summary of token ring. So the token ring, here the token ring network, the tokens are passed over a physical ring. That means the tokens are passed over a physical link. The token ring network is designed for an office. That means the token ring is mainly designed for office use. Token ring network is defined by the IEEE 8025 standard. That means the standard provided for token ring here is IEEE 802.5. The token ring network does not provide better bandwidth as compared to the token bus because the tokens are flows in unidirection, whereas in the bus topology, in the token bus, the tokens are flows in bidirection. While in token ring network, we are going to use star topology. I repeat, in token ring network, we are going to use star topology, whereas in token bus network, we are going to use bus topology or tree topology. And it is possible to calculate the last station in the network ring. That means the maximum time required to reach the last station in the network can be very effectively calculated under token ring. So here the maximum time to reach the last station in the token ring network can be calculated. Moving further, let's see the difference between token bus and token ring. So in token bus network, tokens are passed along a virtual ring. So here virtual ring is nothing but logical ring. So here tokens are passed along a virtual ring, whereas in the token ring, the tokens are passed over a physical ring. So here the tokens are passed over a physical ring. So the token bus network is simply designed for large factory. Token bus networks are designed for large factory, whereas the token ring is designed for office purpose. Here the IEEE standard for token bus is IEEE 802.4, whereas IEEE standard for token ring is 802.5. So here it provides the better bandwidth because the tokens are transmitted in both the direction, whereas it does not provide better bandwidth because here the tokens are transmitted in unidirection. In token bus network, bus topology and tree topology is used, whereas in token ring, it is going to use star topology. And in the token bus, the maximum time is taken to reach the last station cannot be calculated, whereas in the token ring, it is possible to calculate the maximum time to reach the last station in the token ring is calculated. These are the some of the difference between token bus as well as token ring. So dear students, in today's session we discussed what is token ring, what is the standard for token ring, and at the same time we discussed the working procedure of token ring. Along with that, we discussed the data format as well as frame format of token ring. In the next session, I'm going to discuss switching technologies, then I'm going to discuss circuit switching, then I'm going to discuss message switching, and at the end I'm going to discuss packet switching. Thank you for watching my session. I hope in my today's session you got more information about another IEEE standard, that is token ring. So let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.